Jody, after last spring and then I guess the bowl game, how nice is it to have bodies in the room first and foremost?
Last year we had to do some adjustment, a couple guys being hurt or, banged up, and of course the bowl game we had our issues, but, it's really good. Got a great group, really excited, a lot of good older guys that's played a lot of football and also a good group of young guys. And, the thing I would say, all of them have just, bought into everything we're doing, from Coach Beamer and Dial, everything, and it's been a great start to spring.
You got the two guys that have played a ton in Trey and Josh. What have you seen from them and kind of the ability they might have in this offense?
Yeah, I think the first thing you see with Trey Knox, he's definitely a guy that is a big guy that was signed as a receiver at Arkansas, and you see the size and the length. He's a very good athlete, and you see, he can run, really good speed down the middle and a big target. Josh Simon, the same thing, I think – really good athlete. The thing I've been impressed with both of them, they're willing to do whatever, long routes, short routes, blocking, whatever they're asked to do in the offense, which kind of talks about their unselfishness. But both of them are really excited. Nick Elsness, tight end, we also got Florida transfer. He's done really well also. Excited about him. And, Connor Cox and Reed McKiska, two of our mid-year enrollee signees, have had a really good, to me, they're ahead of where you would think a high school kid would be this time, which is exciting. I think both of them got really bright futures, working really hard. And then, we got, talking about bodies, we got two really good quality walk-ons in Maurice Brown and Lucas Vocus that's done a really good job also.
Hey, Jody. I asked Justin Sepp this question last week, but from a feedback standpoint with the tight ends, and just making this adjustment to a new offense, what has some of that feedback been from your players?
I think, of course, there's always going to be some carryover, some things, but they've been really, really excited. Of course, in my room, it's everybody that's new. Wish we had Nate Atkins back, but he was, hopefully going to be drafted here in a few days. But, that was a good thing. A lot of guys, and I always say with any offense, there's same type of plays no matter what school you've come from. You may call it a little different or even your high school, but the thing with all these guys, they're really sharp. They work really hard. I think they take pride in knowing what to do and being multiple, which is, I think any good tight ends is what makes your room special when those guys can play in line, stand out there as a receiver, motion around, different things. The more things you can do, the multiple, I think, the better.
Jody, when you look at where this group was at last year, I guess after the bowl game, I think y'all had two scholarship tight ends. I mean, when you go into an offseason like that, do you look at it as I'm not going to run out of tight ends again? I mean, you guys brought in 4 or 5 guys at this point now. I mean, how do you kind of go about actually rebuilding a room like that?
Yeah, well, and I think Coach Beamer, is one of the 1,000 reasons I think he's such a good head coach is he understands a roster and the value of bodies. Whether it's tight end, running back, linebacker, and Coach Limbo, how valuable those guys are in special teams. And I also think Coach Beamer was like, hey, we're not going to turn down an opportunity to get some really good players at a position. So fortunate enough, we probably were able to sign a little more than we had, but, we felt they were all going to be really good players, really good young men that could bring a lot of value at different multiple things at tight end and also special teams overall to help the team. So I got to give Coach Beamer a lot of credit for probably letting me get more in my position room than most people would have got. So but we're excited about all of them.
You mentioned the freshmen and what you've seen from them. How have they continued to kind of sustain that now that we're, I guess, halfway through this thing? Are y'all halfway through this thing?
Yes, we are. And Connor and Reed and Maurice and Lucas all are guys that have really changed their body. Testament to, Coach Day and Chip Morton and their staff, what they've done in the all-season program. I mean, anytime I think you come from high school, the first time in college when you're, training and everything and our nutrition program, you're going to gain good weight. They both have put on, probably 15 pounds of muscle. So I think, they're still getting used to carrying some of that with their bodies, but they have both, attack workouts, attack installs, and everything. So, I sit there every day and think, man, these guys ought to be getting ready to go to the prom right now at their high school, and they're out here, practicing SEC football, which I think is going to give them a chance to play earlier and just get that far ahead. So fortunate enough to have them early.
Jody, like it's made about players learning a new offense. What's it like as a coach when a new coordinator comes in and you haven't worked with them and trying to learn that while you're trying to install it too?
One thing I think, Coach Beamer does a good job with our staff of always, making sure everybody's on the same page and speaking the same language. I think Dial's done a great job of that, of making sure we're all, speaking the same language and, this means this, or this is how I want this route ran, or this is how I see this run being blocked up. And, we've all been in there together and, it's been really good, and I think like any good coaches, Coach Beamer, Dial, they also, what do our players do good? What did they do good last year? And why did they do it good? And so that's been a positive, to have carryover. But also, it's been really good. I think the players have really, worked hard this spring. A lot of new faces they're playing around. Spencer's got, some new targets, I think, in the tight end room. So every day, he's getting the timing down with them and trusting each other. It's a lot of positive things.
Jody, I know you were part of the group that got to go watch Nick Harper run in Texas, but I guess one, what was that like? And two, how much did you have to fight step over trying to get him as a tight end? Or
Nick, he is a special young man, number one, but special talent, with his speed and has really good ball skills, and I think he's a guy, watching him run, you definitely see he is big, long, and he covers a lot of ground. So we're excited to use him. And, I think that's the thing, whether it's on offense, special teams, or whatever, just the length and skill set he brings. There's a lot of different ways you can use him, I think, that's going to help maximize that. But we're all excited. We were recruiting him. We were telling him we were going to let him play, try to run some touchdown routes. That's the one we like, run really fast and we throw it up. But no, we're excited to get him here. I know he's doing his track stuff right now, but I know he's excited to be here too when he gets here this summer.
Jody, are there any similarities and differences for you in terms of when you came in here last year, right? You're trying to meet so many new faces, especially in the tight end room specifically. Now you're here, brand new faces, and it's kind of like, last year in a sense.
Yeah. The exciting thing, I think, this thing about college football, you're always having roster turnover and everything, but, you've had some staff turnover, but it's been great. I feel like it's really slowed down now with family being moved and players, and a testament to Coach Beamer and a lot of guys that was in this program before that did such a good job buying in that, maybe they were not recruited by the staff or have come in and, a testament to them for everything they were able to accomplish here these last 2 years. I do think the guys we brought in now, have embraced the culture Coach Beamer set and we're, like we say every day, we're trying to get 1% better and, that's – put your head down and go to work. And I think we got a lot of guys that do that. But it is nice when you've been in players' homes and you've recruited them and, have you known them for a long time? And you gotta say, hey, this is what we're about here and sold the vision to them. And now you get to see them put in the work to try to accomplish it. So it is nice to have a lot of guys that believe in that and are working toward that.
We've heard Shane's side of the story. What was signing day like for you and the drama that went on?
It was fun with Nicholas, but I definitely think it was up to the last minute with some decisions and everything. I think he was a young man, and I think his heart was always in South Carolina, and this is where he felt comfortable. I know me, Sterling, the whole staff, we were battling, scratching, clawing to the end, anything. But testament to Coach Beamer. I mean, he's a great closer, and basically what he sold in this program and the vision, to seal the deal. It was very, I think from the first time Nicholas visited here and his interaction with Coach Beamer, it came back. A lot to do with that was a huge factor in him coming here.
Just seeing if you could share your thoughts on Cam Sandlin and what he'll add to the group.
Yeah, Cam's another guy we're really excited about. Of course, he's played quarterback at Anniston High School. I think Mr. 4A football for him. And this guy, he's a very talented guy. He can, run, throw, strong, so he can do multiple things, I believe. We're excited about getting him, in here this summer. He's another guy that's probably in that 220 to 225 range that you can do a lot of things. I think he's going to bring a lot of special teams value. And I always think anytime guys are quarterbacks, there's usually a reason they're playing high school quarterback, whether it's DQ Smith and guys like that, because they're usually the best player a lot of times on their high school team, and you can guarantee they touch the ball every play if they're snapping it to them. And I think, Cam showed, he's very productive with the ball and made good decisions and all that. So I'm excited. A lot of times quarterbacks make really good receivers, safeties, things like that, I believe. So I think he's got a lot of natural football instinct and feel, and excited about his skill set and size.
Jody, you mentioned terminology with dialogue and system. A lot of coaches, or some coaches, make the coordinator learn the terminology that's already kind of been here and vice versa. What's the balance like in that of him kind of bringing his own way he calls things versus taking some things y'all did last year and adapting that terminology to what he's doing?
Yeah, I think, Coach Beamer and Dial both, I think, are really smart in the way that, they interact with coaches and players and, hey, what did you like here? What did you not like? And, anytime, you can always want as much carryover as you can. But just like I think whether it's the coordinator the same year, 2, 3, they're always going to tweak some things. Hey, we didn't really have a way to call this formation and call it, or maybe want to add this run scheme, so we got to come up with a new name or different things like that. But I do think Dial, it's been a group effort, and he's very sharp, and he's been in a lot of offenses, NFL and college, and Coach Beamer and every guys on our staff have, and I think there was a lot of good things we did in our offense last year. So, just be able to, just like anything, I think self-scout yourself and what was good, what was bad, and kind of a group effort. And especially, I think the main thing is what the players are comfortable with, and usually starts with your quarterback. So, as long as he's playing fast, which he is, so he's having a great job with it right now. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much.